So,
Namaskaram and welcome.
if you want to give a brief idea how the micro teachings run everywhere in teacher education, DrTPS, and then what is expected and all the stuff, they can ask you some questions.
What you conceptualized by micro teaching, and if you can demonstrate with some example or tell me what is the content, what is the format, so that they can correct you or all of us can share it. I think we have done one meeting like this in the beginning, and I'm sure you have done micro teaching already, which I have not seen so far. I got it today. The link I got it today. So if you can just tell me, because I have not gone through what you have done. Um, I was introduced to this in 2005, almost 18 years back, when I was director for academic staff college. There our job was giving orientation for teachers and refresher program for the senior teachers. So two programs. One is orienting teachers how to become the best teacher. I was director for that. So that time I adapted to this Nani's principles and all that, right? In which we have a micro teaching which is getting recorded generally. And then we look at it, a panel of people will look at it and then see what modifications can be made. Okay. So I thought that is the best method for all of us to improve. That's the objective of the whole program. So it depends on the subject, it depends on the audience, it depends on individual. So there is no single format in which this is how it is to be done and this is the best method cannot be told. Right? I wrote a book on adaptive learning in which I explained each subject wise how you can get adapted to the students. So getting adapted to students is most important. How do you grab their attention? For a KG student it could be different, for a PG student it could be different. For a young child the grabbing attention is a different style. For an expert lecture it is entirely different, right? That is very much essential when you have a group of large number of students. That's how the psychology says. In the classroom you have got variety of students grabbing attention. All these theorems are written or theories are produced for large group of students in a classroom. But it is much difficult in the internet scenario. It's much difficult in the internet scenario. The other day I had a session with the Philippines on a diploma program and the number of participants were 500. So you can imagine how do they interact, and surprisingly not even single person interacts. So sometimes a classroom has to be slightly different. It is not recording and posting. It has to be interactive. That's the beauty of physical classrooms. So how effectively you can make a digital classroom into an interactive classroom. Otherwise you can record and send it, they can listen as many times as they want. I also should not do this. I should not speak for more time. Otherwise I can record it and send it to all of you, right? So I will not do it. Even when I was called for a lecture, what I do is, if it is 1 hour, I will speak only 20 minutes. I will open it up for another 40 minutes to interact. A tutorial program in which, what do they do? After 5 minutes, they will put a question, like a quiz competition. Few questions are asked to see how much you understood. So generally in Nane's principle it's only a principle. It says you have to understand as the teachers we are supposed to understand how much I am able to deliver to the students, how much they absorbed. How do I check this? Traditionally, every teacher keeps saying at the end of the class, today we have done this. We have done is not correct. I have done it. But whether student got it or not, how do I check? That's why you should have ask them to tell me, what did you understand today? What did you learn today? Right. Yeah.
So, can I ask you something? Actually, I used to do actually. If I explain something, I will ask next one or most of the students like if it is a four in the class, I will ask one by one to tell one example. Actually, is that fine? Like after completing one topic, not current topic actually. Yeah, I'm teaching mathematics, so if I complete something, I will ask each and everyone give one example.
See, when assume that if I do it for whatever I spoke to you so far, last 5 minutes, say, if I ask you, tell me what did I explain so far, I'm sure Radhika will explain something that is heard by others, right?
Yes.
So that influence others, and I am wasting lot of time.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Understood? So you repeat the same thing. So there are many techniques used for this in my classroom, my workshop. I use lot of techniques. Generally, the tradition is to tell one by one. Tell me who are all there, right? But I always keep a pen and paper. All of your names when Prakash was calling, I have written down here. Now Radhika got a tick mark because Radhika asked and interacted, right? Next time when Radhika wanted to ask something, I'll say stop. I'll give you last chance.
Yeah.
Understood?
Yes.
This is not in principle written anywhere. This is our logic. And generally I can tell this to a senior person. You may not feel bad. I know I told the objective and scope of why am I doing it. But to a young child, if you tell that, you are actually capping their enthusiasm. So that also should not happen. Understood? So it's a big tricky thing. Yes, I want to get a feedback. I must know what the reason is. Assume in a class I wanted to emphasize on 5 points. Okay, in that 5 points, I wanted to know whether all the 5 points are caught by the students or they got only 2. The rest 3 they did not get. Then it's my failure. If everybody is only pointing these 2 and these 3 are not given, then it's a failure. It's my failure, right? So in fact, the feedback is not to test the students. Don't take it like that. The feedback is to understand how well I performed in the class. So that if any point which I want to stress is not understood by any one of them, that means in the next class I must take that point and explain it. So objective is to improve me. The objective is first to improve me. If I am good, I am sure my students will be good. So the questions are, or I am asking everybody to tell the points, not to know how much they know. It is to know how much they understood, which probably would have been the most important point, whether they got it or missed it. That's the objective. Good. So anybody else? You could take an example and tell also. This could be a micro teaching class for all of you.
I have a question.
Yeah, Angela.
How do we know if we have expressed our point? How do we know for sure? How do we know if we have taught and they have grasped the knowledge?
Yeah, that is where
How can we?
my objective is to explain something. and those points whether you got it or not. Now if I ask you, I'll give an example in the context of my micro teaching itself. I will give you one example. This is my book, Pedagogies and Practices for E-Web Net Learning, in which I am explaining styles of teaching. One of the styles of teaching is apprentice type. That means step by step I have to explain. Right? Apprentice is like if I want to repair some machine, the first screw which is to be removed, second what is to be removed, all that has to go step by step. So one style is apprentice type. Second type is like incidental. I have to give an example of some application of some mathematics formula which I am explaining. It's incidental. Oh, a minus b into a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. When I get a problem, 23 multiplied by 37. It's an incidental chance that I am able to. Anybody wrote this? Anybody can give me an answer for this? That's why I was 23 into 37.
851.
How did you get it?
With a calculator.
Repeat.
With a calculator.
Yeah. But just before this I gave a formula. The formula was a minus b into a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. And the problem which I gave was 23 and 37. How do you relate this? It's incidental. So it's 30 minus 7, 30 plus 7. So answer becomes 30 square minus 7 square. 30 square is 900. 7 square is 49. So the answer becomes 851. Correct? So this is how I introduce a formula. I can also teach a minus b into a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. So I am giving an incident in which you can use it so that the students will feel, oh, happy. Oh, I learned something which I can use it in day-to-day life. Right? And the third one is inductive method. Inductive method is I give some, see, I am giving you a story and then induce a value principle, a quote for life. Right? Another thing is deductive. The deductive is I tell some theorem, from there I deduce. This is what the result of that is. This is what happened in the history, therefore this has happened. Another technique is discovery. So I explained you apprentice, incidental, inductive, deductive, and the last one is discovery. In discovery, what do I do? See, just now what am I doing? I am doing a discovery. What do I do in discovery? That question itself makes all of you to think. What could be discovery style, right? So I am allowing all of you to think. I am not deducting something. I am not inducing something. I am not telling a story and giving you a principle. So in history or maybe humanities, deductive, inductive can apply. Mathematics generally, the teachers will write or you will give the problem and then wait. Let somebody think over it. Just now what did I did? I gave a formula and then I waited for 23 into, I waited. So that I thought a smart student immediately will say 37. Because before that I gave the formula, right? Or it could be 17, because 23 is 20 minus 3 into 20 plus 3. So if somebody says 17, or I would have been so happy. I have got a wonderful student here. So a discovery teacher always discovers the interest of the students. Understand? Now we explained you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Is it 5? Yeah. I've got a cube here in my book. This book can be downloaded. You can use it. The PDF is there available. So this is how the learning curve. Different topics, different styles. Now this is a class which I gave you now. Now tell me, which are the different five? Which are the different five? Which are the different 5 styles which I explained now? Tell me one. Yeah.
I had a question. How do we know which style to use?
Yeah. Each student,
Or
now, each student has their own style. Each teachers have their own style. And when you are in harmony with the other person's style, you tell that Nandana is a wonderful teacher. If somebody else is telling Nandana is not good, that is because they don't like descriptive teachers. You understood?
Wait, what do you mean by descriptive? I'm quite lost.
Yeah, descriptive is I am giving you a story. Like I'm giving you a story and then telling you this is how it is. Or maybe I'm teaching history. In history, I cannot have a discovery style, right? I cannot.
So discovery style, is that when you ask a question?
Yeah,
and
ask a
the
question and then stop. Yeah, ask a question.
And then the students answer.
Yeah, students
in
answer. Yeah,
turn.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Alright.
Yes, Sena.
Another style would be the apprentice style, you could say.
Which one?
Apprentice style, you said?
Yeah, apprentice style is assume that I have to. This is how I have to open this. I cannot do a discovery. I cannot do a discovery. I should tell first open the clip, then press here. So it systematically it is teaching somebody. I will not give an experiment. Right?
Yeah, there's a set way of how to do it. And you
Yes, there is a sequence in which it is to be done. Like chemistry.
Therefore, Therefore, each different subject would have a specific teaching style that works best for it.
Yeah.
So, versus liberal arts subjects versus STEM subjects, etc. There'd be different ways.
Yes.
Because they're opinion based or fact based, etc.
Yeah, but what happens is, assume I am a mathematician basically. But if you ask me to teach English, I will use discovery. If you ask me to teach history, I will use discovery there. Because basic style of DrTPS is discovery. Got it? So how do I make my history class into a discovery class? I will draw a number line and then say 0 there. This is AD, this is BC. The whole A, B, C, D is history. Between AD is what is BC. And you hang all what is happening and what you learn into the number chart. It will become a beautiful history chart. And I can have a history class with a scale here where history is put into a 1 meter scale. This is a BC and AD scale. So the whole thing together becomes a history class, right? Understood? And how do I make my maths class? This is 1 feet, a Chinese scale. It's flexible, not very hard. Right? So I have to give the perimeter of a square. So that means I have to connect 4. So this is easy. 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet. So it becomes 4 feet, right? Did I explain it without any difficulty? Now what do I want? I want to show that the square, when I cut diagonally, it becomes 2 triangles. So what do I do? I hold this, cut this and then shed there are 2 triangles, equal triangles. Got it? The area of area of this square, if this scale, if I put one each after other, I get the area. I am covering the whole. How many I can put? 1 feet length I can put, and this is 1 feet. So repeating 1 feet number of times. So 1 into 1. If it would have been 2 feet, 2 into 2. So 4 square feet. Now what I have to do? I have to show that the half of this is half BH, the area of a triangle. This is base, this is height, half B into H is the area of the square, or if it is a rectangle also it is B into H. Half of that will become half BH. So the triangle area becomes half BH. So I can be a teacher who explains things by showing. Right? Same thing in a classroom algebra. I can write down the theorem and deduce. In mathematics, what we do, theorem proof is by deduction. Step by step write it down without even showing. So it all depends on each teacher by teacher. Subject by subject, teachers by teachers. So you tell me, what is the other method which we have? Yeah.
You also have incidental.
Yeah. What do you give me one example? No.
Example of incidental.
I gave one example. A minus b into a plus b is equal to. That's one, right? So similar.
Yeah.
Something,
What about?
What do you teach, Kiran? Which subject is?
I teach maths.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly.
Which class you teach?
Age.
Yeah. Or what is the topic? You tell me one subject or topic which you teach now or which you are doing now.
It could be circles.
Circle theorem.
Circle theorems.
Explain it now for all of us.
All of you.
Yeah. Without a board.
There's a lot.
Without a board, without a paper, you just explain.
Without paper or anything.
Yeah.
In circles, there are rules that apply with different angles and different shapes inside circles. So you could have lines touching the outside of a circle called a tangent. And we all know the radius of a circle. And when the radius meets the tangent, it creates an angle which is 90 degrees. And that is an example of one circle theorem. I mean, there's many other ones, but...
Okay, now tell me, where do you see this? Generally, if I am a student, I will ask my teacher.
Okay.
Where do you see this? Where is it applied?
Sprockets, isn't it?
I think it's called sprockets, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it. Don't we like use circle theorems and stuff like when you go into university, especially like for engineering and architecture and stuff? You work around with a lot of shapes, and you have to know how to, how it works when you like build something from the ground. So I don't teach maths for higher grades, but I was just thinking like
It's a common sense. See, we have put different subjects into different classrooms for a very specific comfort which all of us have to enjoy. Otherwise, everything is life. So each one of us have a responsibility to find out. I feel so pity sometimes in some of the online classes. I say you have to just learn this. It's actually useless. You understood? So there is nothing useless. Actually, now what Kiran says, in which grade is that, Kiran?
Grade 6.
Yeah. So that becomes like trigonometry.
Yeah.
You understood?
Yeah.
So where do you use trigonometry? If yeah, if the circle, angle, triangle, sides, distance, all this is connecting is in trigonometry.
Yeah.
Trigonometry gives angle theta. It also gives you radius, base, altitude, height, etc. etc. So where do you use this is the question, right?
Yeah. Well, like none of us had further up in the studies you'd use it, but in different topics. So angles, trigonometry, you see that in calculus. You see that in what else? What else they study? You know, sine, cosine rule. They haven't learned that yet, but when they do learn it, you use it in that, and you can apply it like that. Sine graphs, cosine graphs.
Yeah, where do you use it? My question is where do you use it? Yeah.
Where do you use it?
Radhika, yeah.
Sir, actually, I have a question. Actually, we can say the lots of applications for circle theorem and all, but in their age, in year 9 students or year 10 students, will digest or not?
Yeah.
That is what, yeah.
That is the beauty you should have. That is why I said same. I cannot tell the KG student, the PG student same style, right? So how do I tell you this? See what I can.
Sir,
Yeah.
When I was teaching a circle theorem, I gone through internet like searching like how I will explain like what I should tell if the student is asking where I am going to use this. But I got so many applications like in GPS we are using space, like many things we are using. But for the year 10 students, they will digest or not. That is where I am confused.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Now the satellite, I'm launching a satellite. From the ground, this takes off, right? How do I know which height is that? I cannot measure this height. So what can I do? I can stand here, stay apart from here, and then look at it. The angle in which I am looking will change. When it is on the ground, it will be 0. As it goes, I will increase my angle, right? And the distance where I am standing and looking is known. The base is known. So what am I measuring? From the angle, I have to get the height. That's it. That's where sine theta, cos theta, circle theorem. So how do I explain this to a student? Take a small pipe and then look. Oh, this is where it is. So I can easily get. The angle can be measured. So stand up from the ground. See, this is the angle in which I am looking. So this angle I have to measure. If I measure this angle, I know how far is this, then I know the height. I know the distance also. Now from my house, there is a 30 floor building. 30 floor building. So each floor is 10 feet. So 30 floor is 300 feet. Height is known. From my place, I know the length or the distance from my standing place to the base of the building. Now I know the top of the building. If I have to put a thread and then get to my place, I know how much is the length which I require. That's what is the radius. That is what hypotenuse of the triangle. So whatever you learn, that is one immediate application. But why are we educating? The purpose of education itself is what? Highly philosophical. What is the purpose? When I am teaching a grade 8 student, I do not know whether he is going to be an artist tomorrow, whether he is going to be an engineer tomorrow, whether he is going for masters in mathematics, masters in physics, masters in chemistry. So each teacher gives him a base for him to build up his higher studies in different subjects. So what is my aim of teaching somebody? Yeah, Sienna.
argue that it's to improve their ability to learn.
One is ability to learn, but ability to learn, we can take one example or maybe different examples. But ultimately, I became a master of mathematics, but my school teachers never knew that I am going to do mathematics.
Yeah.
So there
They
are
help you reach that point.
yeah,
though, in
40
some way.
children. If I have to learn BSc mathematics or MSc mathematics, to learn MSc mathematics, I should do BSc mathematics. So among the BSc mathematics, 80 children, how many will go for masters? I don't know. So I am preparing them for a higher examination in life. So when 10th class teacher is preparing them for either going for engineering or medicine or art or commerce or maybe language, so each teacher is giving the base so that he can develop in whatever field he wants.
Shouldn't you also, whilst teaching, you should like spark imagination and creativity so they can do what they want with the knowledge that they have, and they can
Yeah.
choose the subjects that they like and apply?
Yeah, every subject can be done highly creative so that the general creativity. Every topic is done like that. See, what Sayana was asking is correct. I have to teach. What Anjana is asking is also correct. I have to make somebody to cycle. It is not to cycle them on the same road every day. I am only teaching cycling here so that anywhere in this world he can do cycling tomorrow. So I am teaching how to cycle. I am not teaching him cycle on this road. I am teaching swimming in a swimming pool. Not in the whole life he had to swim in the same swimming pool. He gains that ability so that he can go and swim everywhere in the world. So each one of us have a responsibility to tell that my job is to equip you to learn anything in your world by yourself. Got it? So these are all examples. So what am I doing from my subject? I don't know which is the taste which he has and which subject will make him to learn this technique. So that's why I said even I am a mathematician, I teach history in a different style, geography in a different style, because I am basically a mathematician. So my style is mathematics. So each one of us have got different style. That's why when you learn higher and higher, different teachers are given. It is not that I am good and somebody else is good or somebody else is bad. My style is not matched with somebody. Somebody's style is matched. By routinely improving, understanding what style they want, I will prepare and then give it to them. So feedback is very, very essential in classes. Feedback is very, very essential. Yeah, tell me, what are the other techniques which I just told? Some 4 or 5 techniques. Kiran, is it all right? You got what is? Yeah.
I have.
Conquer.
I said inductive.
Yeah. Tell me, what is that? Give me an example. Have you studied the history of, or maybe in the humanities subject you will have to learn about Wordsworth. You have to learn about great personalities. Why? My question is why? Why you should know about Mahatma Gandhi? See, there is a principle, there is a value, there is a moral, there is some class, some lesson which we learn from somebody's life. So we are deducing that. So the purpose of teaching somebody's life history is to know there is a person like this who lived, and oh, these are the qualities which I have to imbibe in my life. So you are deducing some values. See, I wrote a book, Makers of India. 1,000 names are here in this. What they have gained, why do you learn about them, what is the value they have given to us. Understood? So when I see in childhood we would have learned Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya, he is a great engineer. India celebrates Engineers Day on that day. How does it matter? he was a person when he was going from his house to his office, people can correct their watch. He was so punctual in life, no? Understood? So what do we learn from Mokshagundam Vishwesharaya? It's not civil engineering. For a common person, he has to learn punctuality is important. So the whole lesson was for that purpose. So if you don't deduce it, explaining that class becomes useless. When I am talking about calculus, if I don't explain calculus is most essential because you have sine theta, cos theta, all that coming, you have derivative of that. Tomorrow you have Fourier series which will come. Where do you get Fourier series? Fourier series is essential because you have got a radio in which signal processing is there. When signal comes, you have seen ups and downs of signals going. Right? Whenever we say radio, immediately we will show some ups and downs. What is that ups and downs? That's a signal. So how do signal is put into a paper so that people can do research on that? That is from sine and cos. So each lesson when we teach, we have to deduce. Oh, this is what I am going to do tomorrow. It's a deductive job. That is why stories are being told. See, when you give a picture and then say, find there are 5 cats in this forest. Find out the 5 cats. Why I should 5 cats I am finding? Have you seen the children will have books in which a tree is given in which 5 cats will be there. You have to find out which are the 5 cats. Why are we wasting time? Tell me, anybody?
It's about the process. You have to spend time looking for it, searching, and it's the actual process of trying to find the cats.
That is the discovery style. Last. You know, I am from space department. In my interview, I was asked this question for selection. Find out the cats was a question which has a crucial influence on getting a job or not getting. Because my job is image processing. I have to take an image, assume that the UK or London, the map is given and then you have to find the bridges. I have a logic where bridge will be there. How do I find out?
Excuse me to interrupt. We have 8 more minutes if anybody want to jump in and ask questions. That is the time. And yeah, just to.
So that is what the creativity which Anjana was speaking. Actually, I was supposed to give you that example that time. I am checking your creativity.
Actually, I have a question. Actually, how supposed to do the micro teaching, like a normal class or like something special? Like I don't know. Actually, I didn't understand actually that way. Because we have to go through all these teaching styles.
No. This is
okay.
only to give you. You can take examples and then use any one of them, right?
Okay, that's fine.
And Radhika, I personally make all my sessions very special. You can look at all my videos. Same topic when I teach different time, it will be different. I make it special, right?
Okay.
I have to improve every day, right?
Yes.
So it is not the best one which you have to show. From that should be the one where you can improve from tomorrow onwards.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that should be the method. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Sorry if my voice breaks. I've got a sore throat, that's why. But I just wanted to ask, so if you have a multiple class, and if you teach in one style, but one student likes that style, but a student doesn't like that style, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, Sneha, generally it is, I told you each teachers have got one style, but we don't do that. We repeat the same thing 2-3 times.
Okay, yeah.
And each time we are changing our style.
Yeah.
That is because I am looking at the face of my student and seeing, oh, he didn't understand. So let me change my style and try once again. Understood? So each one of us try with the different styles. And ask me, where did you get all these styles? We had many teachers with the different styles. They have used different style on all of us. And each time, each subject we have to teach, we find somebody unknowingly that is inbuilt in each one of us. So by practice, we are all great teachers. Only thing, we have not experimented ourselves. We have not changed ourselves. Don't think that this is my technique. It's my 9th class physics teacher who taught me this, not maths teacher. Got it? So we imbibe them and then carry in our classrooms. So definitely each one of us will try multiple methods.
Yeah.
It is not that I end with the discovery in mathematics. Oh, it doesn't happen immediately, I will go for deductive. It doesn't happen, I will take some example and then tell you this is how it should be done. If nothing works, I use apprentice time. I'll tell you this has to be multiplied. Step number 1 is this, step number 2 is this, step number 3 is this. You get answer. Finished.
Question, like, based on, just like as a question for when you're teaching in general, if you have a student who is struggling more than the others to catch up on something or learn something, in terms of priority, especially when you're teaching like multiple students at once, how would you personally deal with that when you are teaching? So if you've got like 5 students and 4 of them are doing fine and they're ready to move on to the next question, but one student needs to have that question explained again, what would you do in that situation?
Saina, I'm a psychotherapist, so I understand the psychology of students. And there are some peer groups learning techniques which I use. I make groups and then make them to learn together. Ask one student to explain to the other so that I can keep quiet and then they explain it much better in their own style. Oh, then I will learn. Oh, this is how I should have explained. It makes it sensible, right?
It was a good one. Thank you, sir. Oh, thorough one.
Thank you.
Thorough.